Welcome back, everybody, to Sorta Sophisticated. My name is Pete Schwetty, and just kidding.
I don't even know what's happening.
You don't know Pete Schwetty from Saturday Night Live? Alec
No.
Baldwin? Oh my God, it's like one
No.
of the greatest skits of all time. What if we really talked like that? Would we even have any listeners? Maybe we'd have more listeners. Who even knows? Maybe we would have a plethora of listeners.
I'm sure it's like a genre or niche.
Yeah, it probably is, right?
It's probably called like depressive talk.
I know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't even know what we're doing. Hi, I'm Pete, your host, and with me as always is Amanda over there, already giving me crap. Hi, Amanda. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. But it was like a big weekend for you, right? This past weekend?
That's all relative. By big, if you mean...
if anyone ever asked me to accomplish what you just did,
yes,
I would be dead. So you're alive and well and here.
I'm here. Yes, I'm here. I survived along with 50,000 other insane people.
It's crazy.
And ran the, whatever it was, the Disneyland half marathon. And it was...
Let me see. Did you bring your medal?
Why do I bring my medal? What do I have to bring?
Because it's a Disney medal. Like, that's the whole thing. People
Here's my
do
participate. It was a $270 medal.
I know. People like do it every year, and they like have their whole wall.
I know they do. I know they do. And therein lies the problem. And that's
So
why I'm
you're
never
gonna be
doing it
the
again.
new-
No, I hate it.
Oh,
I've done it. I've done it 100
come
times. I only did this because my friend wanted me to do this.
Okay.
And it was exactly what I thought it was. It was crowded, and it felt like I was in Disneyland. I was in Disneyland, but crowded in Disneyland. Like, it's terrible. You can't even run. You're like speed walking through Disneyland until you get outside.
It's not that bad. You're
Have you done this?
exaggerating. I've done the walk.
It's terrible. Until you get out on the streets of Anaheim, it is a literal traffic jam. It sucks. And as a result, I didn't even PR. I was just lame.
But I'm sure you at least hit like your goal.
That's relative. So my goal, if you must know, was 1 hour and 50 minutes. Thank you very much. I got nowhere near that.
Why?
Because there were too many damn people.
Why didn't you break through and get to the front of the pack?
That's what I tried to do the whole time. Thank you. So
you just aren't good at it.
So what you're supposed to do, if you're smart, was you need to run another race before that, either a 10K or a half marathon, and then give them proof of time. But you have to do that 6 months in advance, and then you get moved up into what's called a closer corral, and then I could start earlier. So I actually did that. I did a race earlier, but I only turned it in with 3 months notice, and they didn't accept it. So I was at the back of the pack, starting this whole stupid race, and finished in sub 2 hours, but anybody can finish in sub 2 hours. So the goal really was 150, and I didn't do it. And I'm pissed, and I hurt my leg too, by the way. So now I'm injured. There's that.
Injured?
Yes. I injured myself.
Did you stretch beforehand?
It's not stretching. It's a stress fracture.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, fair.
It started, honestly, you know when it started? When I was in Greece.
Oh.
When I was running, I was training in Greece all the way back then. Yeah. And then I ignored it and ignored it and ignored it. And then the pounding.
And then just ran on it.
Yeah. And now it's terrible. And I think I'm dying. So I'm in full rehab mode.
But wait, didn't Luke go with you?
Luke.
Did he carry your gimpy ass across? What happened?
Luke was waiting at the finish line for me.
Oh.
He had already showered and changed.
Okay.
That's how long it took me. And he was waiting with a wheelchair
that was
to
nice of him.
roll my gimpy ass
Nice of him.
to the car. But I have to shout out, because I got to shout out to Debbie Toomey, because Debbie Toomey is the person that made me do this, and we love Debbie Toomey. She is the ultimate bestie that I have. She killed it. She did awesome. She got me off my ass to run this thing. And I'm not going to disclose her age, but you would be very proud of Debbie Toomey for killing a half marathon.
I mean, I'm proud of anybody who finishes and runs a half marathon, because my ass can't do that. So good job, Debbie.
She was amazing. We love Debbie.
But do we also get to blame her for the fact that you
we're told. Oh,
gimp?
No, done and done. I started blaming her 4 weeks ago. This whole thing was a nightmare. It was all her fault.
Okay.
Yeah. She owes me big time. And she knows it.
Good. At least you got that card to pull at some point.
I know.
All right, so we're going to start the episode?
Yeah, I think we can. I think I've done enough whining. I think I'm ready to go. Okay?
Let's go.
I think you're going to love this episode today. But I think, you know what? As a matter of fact, you're taking over this episode today, so you better have done your homework, sister. That's all I got to say.
Let's go.
Today's episode is officially titled Girl Power Global Stage Inside the Beijing Declaration 30 Years Later.
I mean, women's rights equals human rights. Let's go, Hillary Clinton.
Oh, she totally nailed that shit, dude. That made her famous. You know that made her famous? That was it, right. I mean, good old Bill, right? Do you remember this is 1995?
Sleeping around.
He was screwing Monica Lewinsky, and she is over in Beijing, half the world away, changing the world, right? Love her or hate her, dude. I don't know. You got to give credit to Hillary.
Yeah, I know. on that fence, right? But real quick before we start, for any of our listeners that aren't familiar with the Beijing Declaration, because, it could be a new concept for some.
Yeah.
The Beijing Declaration was an agreement established in 1995 by 189 countries that declared women's rights are human rights. And it laid out a 12-point action plan to achieve gender equality worldwide.
Thank you. That was a very good, concise explanation. Why don't you just roll into then telling us why learning about this is going to make us more cultured then, please?
Because we kind of still use it today. We use it to connect. I mean, I know you know, but it's...
Well, I did. I didn't know. I had to do a bunch of research because I'm a dude and I'm not good at this stuff.
But at least you researched. That's
I did.
half the battle.
I did. So. Okay, sorry. Get back to what makes us more cultured.
Well, it's pretty relevant. It's still the basis for gender equality today. So think about the whole equal pay movement or the hashtag #MeToo movement. It all traces back to the Beijing Declaration. So this is one of those episodes where we explain a little about where things start from so we know how it's all connected and how we could feel a little more sophisticated.
I love that. Thank you. One more question, though?
Yes.
Are you taking questions?
Yes.
This episode, you'll be taking many questions.
Let's go.
Because
I'll
have
do my
a lot.
best. I'll do my best.
How does this relate to feminism and the whole feminist movement in general? Give me the quick version of that before we do the whole Beijing Declaration.
Okay, I'm going to pull Pete.
Okay, go.
We're going to go simple.
Oh,
definition first.
Go. I love it. Okay, fine.
Okay, ChatGPT says that feminism is the belief that women and men should have equal rights and opportunities. That's it, period, end of story. Not women being better than men, not men being pushed aside, just equality. And I think that is some of the misunderstanding to begin with. A lot of people think it's pushing this radical agenda, but really it's not. It just kind of fits into the Beijing Declaration because it basically put feminism on the world stage with all these countries finally saying, yep, okay, we agree. It's probably time to do something about it.
Okay, so I have a whole weird thing with this. Bear with me. Can I PSA right now, please?
I mean, I guess it's not a good episode unless you PSA because it means that we're stepping on some sort of toes, right?
Yes, and this is kind of dangerous for me to do a PSA during a episode on the Beijing Declaration.
It's true. Mansplain. Go ahead.
Right. Okay.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I know. Right. But this is my point. Exactly. Yes. So I talk to my sister about this all the time, the patriarchy, right? The whole idea of gender bias. Because we all have it, right? It's just that people either don't know they have it or they don't want to admit they have it. It's human nature to have it. We can't literally avoid it, Amanda. This is my whole point. So we all have some unconscious version or implicit biases. I don't know. You get the idea. Bias. TM. I like that. Okay. They're automatic. I think we talked about this in our psychology episode. They're shaped by how we're raised, our community, what we watch on TV, even our history, the podcasts we pick to listen to. Okay. So I'm going to use me as an example, right? So I totally, emphatically, quote unquote, believe in equal rights for women, completely. But yet I still have these tendencies that I don't even know that I'm using every day without realizing it. How I act, how I interrupt you all the time. You just said how I mansplain. All these things that men want to pretend don't exist. And it takes such a massive effort to consciously try to overcome or recognize that it's happening. And then in that moment, be able to shift perspective. It's really hard. And I'm somebody who wants to do it, and I struggle doing it. And I get it, because some people want to say, oh, that's just men being men. That's God stuff. Be careful, right? Sexes are there for a reason. But here's my argument to that. Think about what was acceptable 2,000 years ago, how we treated women or slaves or anything, right? Then think about how we treated people 1,000 years ago or 500 years ago. We have to be really careful. If our job is to make each generation better than the one before, I'm all for men being men and women being women and the beautiful difference between the sexes. But that has zero to do for me, with equal rights or an equal playing field. And that's the real work, and that's the real hard stuff. And that's where people want to go stick their head in the sand sometimes, right? And that's why I'm saying out loud, some men are oh my God, feminism, it's a scary word. It's bullshit. It's about equal rights. But they can't see it that way. And it all has to do with that implicit bias. Okay, I'm off. I'm done. Off the soapbox.
Well, I applaud you for recognizing that and putting it out there in the universe.
And I'm not going to mansplain this whole episode.
Okay.
And if I do, just go ahead and punch me in the face.
We'll try.
Okay.
Let's go.
Sorry. Can we do word of the day now?
Absolutely.
All right. Are you ready for this?
I am.
Our word of the day today is ineffable.
Ineffable?
Mm-hmm.
Can't be effed with? Ineffable?
That is hysterical. Can't be effed with. Can we TM that shit right now? I love that.
Only if it's actually the thing.
No, I think that should be the definition. Excuse me, that's ineffable. Oh my God, Amanda, that was classic. Okay, are you ready? It comes from the Latin root. I can't get over what you just said. I find that remarkable. Ineffable. Okay. Ineffabilis is the Latin root. Ineffabilis. In meaning not, and effabilis meaning describe with words. So not able to describe in words. It's like mostly for compliments. Like people use it when they're trying to describe something positive, but it doesn't need to be. I literally could say like, oh, your face is ineffable. And you, oh my God, that's hysterical.
You wouldn't know if
it's nice or mean. Like but technically it's people are supposed to use it nice, right? Like you can't describe.
Okay, so it's supposed to
like
be
a sunset.
Positive.
Right. But in theory, it technically isn't. It just means you cannot describe it with words.
Yeah, my definition's
Your
better.
definition was 100 times better. All right? Like, I love this.
But now I am not going to use this, right? Because I will not remember the actual definition now. So you're welcome.
You just can't describe something. We could do it.
So we're just not effable.
All right,
anyways, all right. Well, you want to go ahead and give us a little history because that is like your thing.
I love this word. Okay, I'll do history, but that's
the
it.
Beijing Declaration.
And then you have to take over from there.
Sure.
Like you have to do all the explaining.
Okay.
Okay. All right, here we go. Before we do the whole Beijing Declaration, I got to go backwards to go forwards because that's how I roll.
You always do.
I know, but I got to set the stage. I'm a stage setter.
Absolutely. Well, and it's again, I think what people don't understand is that in order to. Yes, it's that. But in order to truly appreciate whatever a topic is, you do have to understand the history and the context of what was happening during that time. So
thank you very much for supporting me.
I do appreciate it, and the stage is yours.
Here we go. Okay, so actually, they had 3 other events all leading up to 1995 when they finally did Beijing. So sort of like prequels, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, like but for women's rights. Okay, right?
Are you only throwing in Lord of the Rings because you know I'm going to New Zealand soon?
Absolutely. Let's go.
You know, I need to watch it though before we go. Okay,
you do.
Totally sidebar. Not
by the
important.
way, watch it all on the airplane.
I guess
all
so.
9 hours. Oh my God, it's glorious. Okay, so some quick history leading up to Beijing. It all starts in 1975 in Mexico City. The UN hosts what they call the First World Conference on Women. They roll out something called the World Plan of Action, which was basically, let's agree women deserve equality, but like with no real meat behind anything, like no step-by-step plan to fix anything. If we're comparing this to the Lord of the Rings, because I'm going to keep that thread going, then this is like their first movie, The Fellowship of the Rings.
So if I remember correctly, so lots of people talking, right? People meeting each other, not a lot of action?
Not a lot of action.
Okay.
Not a lot happening. Right.
Stage setting.
That's it. Absolutely. Okay, then they try again, this time 5 years later.
5 years.
5 years, 1980, Copenhagen, Denmark. Here we go. And basically by then, everybody had already like admitted to themselves that the shit didn't go really well in Mexico City. So they weren't making good enough progress, right? So this time they try a little harder. They buckled down. Amanda, they buckled down. There was buckling, okay? They got organized. They focused on education, employment, and health advances for all women.
So if we're staying again with your Lord of the Rings vibe, would this be the next one, the 2 towers?
This is the 2 towers. Absolutely, right? Somebody's getting off their butts and starting to do something. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right.
I only guessed because that was number 2.
Yeah. No, you got it.
Look,
I
can do.
You're following. You're following along. This is great. Okay, so then another 5 years goes by, and the UN tries one more time. This time in 1985 in Nairobi, Kenya. They introduced something called the Nairobi Forward-Looking Strategy. And this was apparently like their big plan to achieve total world domination for women by the year 2000. It was very Arnold Schwarzenegger of me. Not really domination, but like equality. You get the idea. This was
15 years targeting for equality. Okay?
This was it, right? This was Return of the King. This was the last of the Lord of the Rings.
This
was it.
The good guys win.
Absolutely, but guess what?
It didn't actually happen.
It didn't actually happen.
No.
Yeah, no. Right. Okay. Give them credit though, right? Because that was the first time the UN really said like, hey, women's rights aren't really this side quest anymore. This is serious shit. Like they're tied to human rights. We really need to do something about this once and for all, or women are going to hate us forever. So that's what's going on.
So wait, were there like all these countries just sitting around waiting for these conferences every 5 years to happen? Or did they actually start doing stuff in between?
Like you mean in each country?
Yeah, like did they get motivated to
like
apply what was happening at these conferences?
Some were doing stuff, yes. Okay. Like they were doing stuff, yeah. Like the U.S. had something called Title IX in the 1970s. I don't know if you remember, which stated like any school receiving federal funds could no longer discriminate based on sex, okay, which seems small, but started paving the way for equal access for women in sports, scholarships, education opportunities. So slow, but they were starting something. And in France, they had changed family laws, so women didn't need their husband's permission to work anymore.
That was still a thing?
I didn't even know that was a thing. That's
wow.
Crazy. When I looked that up, I'm like, okay. And then in Switzerland, in the 70s, they were working on giving women the right to vote. Apparently, they didn't have the right to vote yet. So like, each country was doing things. Yeah.
It just blows my mind. 1970, like 50 years ago. Not even that long.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's definitely ineffable.
What do you want me to say? Oh my God. It is. It's totally ineffable.
Lack of words.
Right? Absolutely.
But no, but I meant it more
in so many ways, it's ineffable. Right?
I meant it more in a bad way, but yes. Okay.
I don't know. But
again, wrong definition, but it works.
That worked perfect. And for that, because you TM'd it with our new definition, I'm putting $10 in the jar. Okay? What do you want me to say?
Yeah,
Here we go.
Let's go.
Okay. So that brings us to Beijing 1995, right? So those were the 3 conferences beforehand. So now, 1995, 189 governments, just like you said, show up, plus 30,000 activists at this massive.
Traction.
Yeah. It's huge international conference. So from September 4th to September 15th, they talk and lecture and write shit down. And finally, after 11 days, they produce something called the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. And it was a comprehensive plan that laid out the 12 critical areas, like you said earlier, for women's equality, bucketized into these 3 main areas. Okay, basic needs, which was poverty, health, education, and environment, safety and rights, violence, conflict, human rights, and what's called girl child. This is young and female discrimination, right? You had to be young and female, like under the age of 18. And then power and visibility, decision-making, economics, institutions, and the media.
So basically, where does trans rights fall into this?
Okay, so that was a huge thing, right? So they had a lot of LGBTQ in there and pulled it because it was too controversial for the time. And that was the one big mess. That's like the criticism of this. So oddly enough, there was a whole nother conference going on, a little sort of pop-up off to the side, like not with diplomats in Beijing. It was like an hour out of the city in another place where they started doing a lot of that grassroots effort to try to do the trans rights and the gay and lesbian rights, and started gaining traction, but not in a formal setting, we'll say. So kind of, if there's a dig on this whole thing, yes, if there's a dig on this, it's that they pulled it out because a lot of these conservative countries just weren't having it.
Ready for it.
Yeah, kind of stuff.
I mean, so basically then this whole kind of movement was to survive, be safe, and to actually be seen.
Absolutely. Okay. Finally. Right.
And then if I remember it right, I mean, I may not, but this is also like this conference was when Hillary Clinton kind of dropped the mic.
This was it. Yep.
It's like where she was quoted saying her famous, human rights are women's rights and women's rights are human rights. And then I think that became like the rally cry for the whole Beijing conference and declaration that year.
Yes, absolutely. That was it. Totally. Okay. So I think I got us basically through all the history up to this point. I think I'm going to stop talking so I don't turn into a mansplaining jerk, and let you explain why Beijing was such a big deal, because somehow it's going to be credible coming from you, right?
Well, I think you did a good job.
Thank
I know
you.
we jokingly say mansplaining, but I do think that, there's always a space to have conversations. I think you did a fabulous job.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for giving us
do
the
appreciate
history.
It. Take it from here. Tell me why Beijing was so different than the other ones.
Oh, you want to know why it was such a big deal?
I want to know why
it
it started working. I want to know all the things.
I mean, I do find it kind of ironic that it was Beijing that this all kind of happened in.
Right.
But Beijing was historic because it was the very first conference out of the 4 of them that shifted the focus from quote unquote helping women to we need to change the entire system. So it's a huge difference between the two. It wasn't just like a charity handout. It was like this idea of justice. And it was finally putting gender equality at the heart of human rights.
Yeah. But like I said earlier, like not everybody loved it, right?
No, of course not. I mean, some governments, like the Vatican especially, and some other hardcore Catholic and Muslim countries, they really pushed back on the reproductive rights and kind of like you said, the LGBTQ plus stuff.
Yeah. When I was reading that part sucked. Like I was like, I mean, I do get it, but also like it's time for another conference. But like it all still passed and stuff, right? Like it worked.
I mean, sort of.
Sorta. What do you mean sorta?
Like, it's not like they pass or not pass. They just sort of keep rewording it until they have a consensus that everyone can live with.
Wait a second. Hold on. So like okay. So it's not like a law like in the United States that you need a certain number of countries. Okay. So the UN doesn't work that way.
No.
The UN does what? Explain it again. It's like a consensus, you said?
Yeah. It's like a consensus that everyone can live with. Then like in the end, right, some countries just say, it's fine, we can live with this, but maybe not that. And that's basically, I think, what the Vatican did. And some other heavily religious countries, right? They all get together. They all put all their minds together.
So they generally support
XYZ.
Yeah. Okay. And then if there's like a little piece, they're like, I don't love it. Then they're just sort of don't do that. I get it. So I get it. It gets sticky, but maybe not sticky enough for some people. Okay. So another question. Fast forward. Right? Did this whole thing work? Like here we are, 30 years later. Like with all the other ones I talked about, they didn't have enough horsepower. Each one of them sort of died, but like didn't really stick. Did this one? Couldn't you say it worked?
Sorta.
I hate
Evidently, I love the word sorta.
Apparently.
It just works for everything.
It really does, right? It's sort of ineffable. Okay, here we go. Give it to me. Lay it on me. Tell me why sorta.
So I mean, like on one hand, yes. Like we said at the beginning of the episode, it's still used as the foundation for women's equality and women's rights. It's still referenced in UN reports that they're writing today. So that's like a good sign. They didn't have another conference 5 years later, like all the other times before. So I guess that's another good sign. Like we're moving forward.
Yep.
And like we said, it influenced movements like the hashtag #MeToo, the founding of the UN Women in 2010, and violence against women campaigns that happened all over the world. But in general, and this is kind of just my take, is that progress overall is still pretty slow and we still have a really long way to go. So I guess it's like the to-do list is still on the fridge for lots of countries.
Oh, shit. Do you have a to-do list on the fridge for Trent?
Maybe.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding.
And is it really long?
No.
Is it really, is it
Honey-do
30
list?
years old? Oh my God, that would be terrible. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess when I think about it, you're right. Progress too slow, right? Because we still have the pay gap. We talked about that in like just a recent episode, sociology episode. Women in leadership is still messy. And the whole violence prevention and human trafficking that my sister deals with like all the time, still super prevalent in a lot of countries, even here in the United States. So, yeah, a lot of unfinished business, right? That's true. All right, you got anything else you want to do? Or you want to soapbox this thing? Or you want to give us fun facts? Since you probably came up with better fun facts on this than I did this time around.
Oh, I did get fun facts because it's my favorite part of the episode. So I got you.
I love that you're going to rip out some fun facts for us.
Okay, ready?
Totally, let's go.
Okay, number 1. So remember that like sub conference that you were talking about or you mentioned previously where all these activists got together outside of the Beijing conference? Okay.
Yes.
So the NGO forum in Kwairochu outside of Beijing brought 30,000 of its own activists from all over the world and was held at the same time as the Beijing conference. So if Beijing was considered like the official script, Kwairochu was considered the uncensored kind of like open mic sesh.
Oh, that's where I would have gone then. I would have totally been.
Yeah, I mean, it had
Kwairochu.
like all this energy, like a music festival, right? Think tents, art, porta potties. I mean, everything except for like the headliners that weren't actually musicians, but they were actually women's rights leaders. So super cool. Maybe think of it like the Woodstock of women's rights.
Oh my God. Be there or be square. That is where I would have wanted to have been.
You absolutely would have.
In
It was
1995.
definitely your scene.
Damn it.
Okay, we're ready. Super fun fact.
Super fun fact. What?
I know.
Give it to me.
I think most people don't really know this. Heavy rain turned the NGO forum grounds into like a virtual mud pit, and activists joked about how they were swimming for equality. So I think it added to the festival vibe and, you know, just gave this more, I don't know, like there was just something in the air.
Right. No, I could understand women mud wrestling. How could you not love that?
Oh my God. I don't know if that actually
Right.
happened.
Wow.
But
Okay. Sorry. So that
would
was
be
the
like your
worst
super,
thing I
super
could
fun
have
fact.
possibly have said for this episode. My bad. Can you just skip to number 2 really fast? Thank you very much. Okay.
Fast forward. So number 2, Hillary Clinton almost didn't even speak at the conference, right? So like her whole women's rights or human rights speech nearly got pulled because the U.S. administration feared that she might offend China.
Yes. You had said earlier about like how weird it was that it was in Beijing in the first place. That is wild. So when you said that, I was like, yeah, you're right. China's, I mean, I don't want to say backwards, but certainly not as
the
progressive
opposite
as
of what we think,
Right.
you know, the Beijing conference
Yes,
is supposed to be
absolutely.
doing.
That's
Absolutely.
wild.
Yeah, I mean, they have the whole one-child policy at the time and the way
Oh
in
my God,
general
yes,
that they
that's
would like
right.
repress women.
Yes. But
it-
so she just like what she do?
She just insisted, and it all worked out because it became the most famous line of her whole career.
Go Hillary.
Yeah. She stood up for what she believed in, man.
Love her or hate her. Let's go.
Yep.
Meanwhile, do you know what Bill Clinton's most famous
Stop
line
it.
is?
Nope.
I
Yes,
did not
do.
have sexual
I
relations with
know.
that woman. Okay, sorry.
It's very ironic.
It really is. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, number 3. The Philippines sent the largest delegation to the conference.
Badasses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
Over
go.
1,000 people from
1,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
From their whole government. So it was by far the biggest of any country. And super fun fact, the
You're
smallest.
full of super fun facts.
Well,
today.
it's just so interesting.
Well, if you did the biggest, you're doing the smallest. I get it. Okay, go. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The smallest were some.
Wait,
of
let
the-
me guess. Vatican.
No.
Smaller
Smaller.
than the Vatican?
I think so.
I don't even. There's nothing smaller than the Vatican.
Yeah, there
I
are
have no idea.
little tiny
Like,
islands.
yeah, okay. I was just going to say little tiny. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
so like
Okay.
San Marino and Tuvalu sending only one each. But at least they were represented. I guess that's the plus side, right?
They totally represented. Let's go. And
But
quite
just one.
frankly, you would argue they're badasses for sure. Like, right. Like
It's true.
they're just going in and they're saying, hey, like, we're here. We're supporting.
But that is a beautiful thing
Okay.
about the UN.
Good
right?
work, San Marino and
Yeah.
Tuvalu. Let's
Okay,
go.
number 4.
By the way, I love these fun facts. Now I understand why you like to sit back and just listen to this stuff. This is excellent. This is like the best part for me.
It's so great.
Okay, go.
You
Sorry.
feel like you're infinitely smarter.
You do. Okay, go.
Okay, number 4. Did you know that it was only 10 years ago that Saudi Arabia first finally let women vote?
Wait, no.
10 years.
Like 2015, only
Yep.
10 years ago. No, bullshit.
Yep.
Was
They
that
were
the last one?
Yeah, they were the last major country to grant women's voting rights. As of today, every country allows it except for only one.
Who?
Vatican City.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, they are the
What
only...
is Vatican's problem? What's going on?
Well, it's because they only vote for the Pope. And only men can vote for the Pope.
Oh, my God. Fine. I get it. That's a little tricky, but
It
like,
is.
whatever.
I mean, it's kind of like an asterisk, like a...
That's still BS, dude. Okay, whatever. Keep going.
All right, then.
Right. I'm going to hell. I'm going to be smited.
It's fine.
Yeah. You know what? This whole thing is ineffable. Everything's going on with the Vatican, ineffable. I have no words.
No words.
Yeah.
All right, number 5.
And realistically, there is no effing going on in the Vatican anyway. Who are we kidding? Right?
I think, yeah, that's sacrilegious,
Yeah,
right?
totally would be. Okay, sorry. Get back on track.
Number 5. Beijing 95 was basically the first women's rights conference to go viral.
Viral? What do you mean viral?
Well,
no, they didn't have internet.
It was viral. It was on dial-up.
It was on dial-up internet?
So the activists were posting daily updates online in real time, which meant for the first time ever, you could actually follow a live conference online.
Whoa.
Big deal.
Yes.
But I guess you kind of had to wait like 5 minutes for the page to load. And a lot of listeners probably don't even know what dial-up is. But it was when it was like back in the day, it was like...
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But that's so cool. So that was the first one they tried to like do like
online.
live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it could reach
Go
everybody.
Beijing 95.
Yeah. Technology, man.
I love
How
it.
far we've come.
Amen.
And finally, number 6. They totally sold souvenir merch.
Of course they did.
I can't.
Right.
I mean,
you had to.
They had T-shirts, pins, tote bags, and like the tote bags even had slogans that said "See the world through women's eyes" or like "Action for Equality, Development, and Peace." Yeah, and you can still, I think, to this day, find them on eBay.
No.
Yeah, I think they're kind of collector's items.
Please tell me you have one.
I don't.
No.
They go for
Seriously?
a lot of money.
I'm looking this up online.
You
right
should.
Now. I'm totally doing this right
It's a lot.
Holy crap.
But you know what? I wonder if it's going to be like one of those retro things where like somebody else starts to remake, right, the merch that was then.
Oh, maybe. Oh, my God, I just found one.
95 is what, vintage now?
Dude, $79 they want for a shirt right now.
Yeah. Crazy.
It literally says Action for
Crazy.
Equality. Yes, it says Beijing 95. Oh, my God, it's really here.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not kidding.
It might be like one of those vintage things that comes back around.
Okay, I love that. Any more? Are you done?
That's it.
I love it. Great mix. I like the mud pits. I like Hillary Clinton almost getting censored. And then dial-up feminism, right? Who wouldn't like that? Well done. All right, but now you got to give us call to action. Can you do call to action? Can you finish this for us? Can we flip this? Okay, good. Because if we like want to learn more or like go do something to help, like what do we do? Like summarize this thing for me, please, so I can look like I know something when somebody asks me if I remember the Beijing conference in 1995.
All right. Well, if this episode sparked your curiosity, don't stop here. Is this your little
I like it.
the little plug?
I like that.
Just kidding.
Right?
But the full Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action is available for free on the UN Women website if you feel so compelled. It's not really a dry policy manual, but it's basically a global to-do list for gender equality.
Makes it easy to understand and follow then.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep, and you can also check out CEDAW. So it stands for the Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. It's kind of a mouthful, but it's often called the International Bill of Rights for Women. So another good thing to look at.
Okay.
And if you want something closer to home, probably look up what your own country's commitments were in Beijing and see if they're actually being delivered.
What a good idea. Yes. Didn't even think, like, duh, right? But that's a good way to start, right?
Being cultured isn't just about knowing history. It's about knowing where the work still needs to be happening.
I like that.
So go check it out. But if you're still curious, here are maybe just a few ways that you can dig a little deeper.
What do you got?
Okay, so there's books, obviously, all the time.
Yeah.
So Half the Sky by Nicholas Kristof and Cheryl Woodan. The real life stories of women around the world. And We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I maybe butchered that a little bit, but it's like a short, powerful, and very readable book. Both of them are like heartbreaking, but also inspiring. There's documentaries, as always. So Misrepresentation that came out in like, what, 2011?
We did it. Yeah, we talked about that one on Sociology episode. So you have to watch it for 2 reasons now.
It's like a twofer.
For feminist. Okay, I like this. Yeah.
But it also shows like how the media shapes how we actually view women. So that's a good one.
Yep.
Okay. Then She's Beautiful When She's Angry. It's a 2014 one. It's a fun and fiery look at the women's liberation movement. So another.
I have not seen that. I will watch that one.
Yeah. I think that's all probably on the watching side.
Okay.
But then there's podcasts. So The Guilty Feminist is a good one. It's like witty, relatable, modern. There's also Or Call Your Girlfriend, which I think is kind of fun because it's like a smart and pop culture savvy feminist talk.
I love that. All right,
Yeah.
I could do podcasts
2 little things.
because I'm always
You
checking
can.
out. Well, first of all, I got to check out
You
podcasts
do.
just to see how we
Your
stack up.
competition.
Right, of course. But no, I totally get into that. I love it. Okay.
Okay. Well, then, and I guess lastly would just be to remember these takeaways to sound sort of sophisticated.
This is what I got to memorize.
Yes.
All right, I'm ready.
Here's your
Hit
hit
it.
list.
I'm writing
hit
it
list.
down.
Ready?
Go.
Okay. Number 1, women's rights equals human rights. The Beijing Declaration in 1995 cemented the phrase women's rights are human rights on the global stage. It wasn't just rhetoric. It reframed women's issues as fundamental to democracy, peace, and development. Number 2, it took 20 years to get there. Beijing was the 4th UN World Conference on Women after Mexico City, which was in 1975, Copenhagen, 1980, and Nairobi in 1985. Each one laid the groundwork, but Beijing pulled it all together into the most ambitious plan yet, and it's still being used today. Number 3, Beijing produced a 12-part action plan covering everything from poverty, health, and education to violence, human rights, media, and the girl child. It's basically the ultimate checklist for gender equality. Number 4, not everyone agreed. The declaration passed by consensus, but some governments entered reservations, especially on reproductive rights. This was led by the Vatican and some Muslim majority and conservative states. And LGBTQ plus rights were cut out altogether due to pushback. And finally, the work isn't finished yet. 30 years later, Beijing is still the reference point for progress reports, pay gaps, representation in leadership, and gender-based violence remain unfinished business, meaning the declaration isn't history. It's still homework.
I love that. I can get behind all that. There you have it, dear listeners. A hopefully not so intimidating dive into the Beijing Declaration and feminism. From the first attempt in Mexico City in 1975 to Hillary Clinton's career-defining mic drop, Beijing wasn't just another UN meeting. It was a turning point that still shapes the way we talk about equality today. So if we did our job right, you're leaving a little more curious, a little more confident, and maybe ready to feel more comfortable in a conversation about equality, whether you're reading headlines about equal pay or just realizing that the global to-do list for gender equality is still unfinished. The big takeaway is this: Beijing 95 isn't history to memorize. It's work that's still going on, and it belongs to all of us. We are all responsible to see this through. As always, if you like this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with 5 of your best friends. Or at some point, we're just going to have to stop making these forever, I swear to God, because this is tough work, people. Help us. 5 best friends. Until next time, stay curious, stay thoughtful, and remember, being sophisticated isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing what still matters.